of the syllabus as it currently stands for the AP Seminar course. AP Capstone is a unique program that we're going to be offering beginning this year, and that makes those of you that are sophomores or juniors in the program the first full cohort for CTHS, meaning you are the first group of students that can complete the requirements to be a AP Capstone graduate. There are two different distinctions that come with this, one of them being the AP Capstone Diploma, and the other one being a recipient of a certificate that says you completed the capstone sequence. AP Capstone is a lot different than any other AP course or any other course that you've ever had before in Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD or any other ISDs, because it's a course that does not derive its mission from a singular subject. I have purposely worked diligently with the administrative team at Chisholm Trail High School, my fellow capstone teachers at the other campuses, and with the college board's professionals to design a course that is thematically open to every single possible connection that exists for an AP student to have. Whether you are an AP historian focusing on AP history courses, maybe you're an AP English scholar, maybe your focus is on AP music theory, art, maybe you prefer statistics, calculus, Spanish, or any other number of AP courses, this is a course that's designed for those of you that have AP passion, but you have a passion that can never be satisfied by just taking a multiple choice test. Sure, you can sit through one, but there's no passion or joy to that for you, as at least not to the fullest level, because you find your enjoyment, you find your strength, you find your passion from being able to answer questions that come up to you, being able to learn to discuss them, to bring in all these different subject content areas to prove your point. AP Seminar begins the journey of developing the skills necessary to eventually create a piece of work that will allow you to truly showcase your ability to argue multiple perspectives and contribute to the scholarly community as an academic. So this course is different, and I want to go through a couple of key things as we move through it. First thing is the AP Seminar Assessment Overview. Students are assessed with 2 through-course performance tasks and 1 end-of-course exam. All 3 assessments are summative and will be used to calculate a final AP score using the 1 through 5 AP scale. That's the same AP scale that you've seen in every single course, right? 1 through 5. Our goal point in every AP course I teach is a minimum of a 4. I want no issue with your courses being accepted by a college. The AP scores are broken down into 3 components: 20 points that are team project and a presentation, 35% for an individual research-based essay and a presentation, and an end-of-course exam that's 2 hours in length. It's a standard AP College Board scored exam that you will go sit for and will be evaluated by AP individuals at a regular read. Now, this course is unique because not only do you have these particular assessments, we will start testing officially on January 3rd, and we will be testing consistently until April 30th. You will have then a small window to just refresh and strengthen your skills for the sit-down portion of the exam that is only 2 hours in length, and it tests a process of analysis that we will literally start learning on day 1 and will drive everything we do daily in the course. It's one of the most prepared for accessible exams. It's also different because while we are testing through that large window, we're going to have 2 big focus points. One's going to be the team project and presentation, where you wind up having to create your own written piece of work that'll be graded by the College Board, and then you and your selected group members will perform a presentation that will be not only recorded, but will be evaluated by me when it's presented. The recording will be kept for at least a year, We will be talking extensively about it when we get to that point, because I'm also going to be asking many of you to allow me to have access to your presentations, and probably encourage you to use them as well for the same purpose, to recruit and build up the capstone program. In addition to having this group component, you'll have an individual research-based essay, so you'll do your own individual project, miniature taste of what's going to happen in research, and then you're going to end up doing your own presentation as well, and again, recorded and evaluated by me. The presentations in both cases, I'm going to be opening up invitations to all the district administrators to come participate and listen and engage with you for these presentations, because it's, number one, going to be second nature for you to present. Number two, I'm going to have these people in multiple times building up to this. And number three, I want to showcase the absolute best of what it is that you have contributed to the scholarship that you're studying. I want the people that have given us the opportunity to offer this course, I want them to see the creativity, the individuality, the expansion of AP knowledge that happens in AP seminar, so that they can celebrate the greatness of what you're doing. Now, that's the College Board's grading standards. I'll talk a little bit more in a moment about mine. But there's more. AP seminar exam. If you enroll in and take AP seminar, you are expected to pay for and take the AP seminar exam. The test fee is $150. I'm not currently aware of any reductions that are going to be available. I've asked district, and I should have information hopefully soon about them. You need to work to pay for these exams by the end of October at the latest. I'm honestly hoping that if you can afford it, that you will pay for the exam by the end of September. The reason is we begin testing on January 3rd. If you enroll in this course and you take this course, then January 3rd, whether you have paid the fee or not, you're doing the AP exam. You will do every single step of the AP exam process. 55% of the overall AP grade, you will do all of the work for, be evaluated under AP standards for all of that work. But if you don't pay the money, you won't get the credit. Additionally, if you do not pay to take the exam and you're still completing the rest of the work, you will be placed into a group with other students and individuals that are not taking the exam for credit as well. The reason is I cannot risk students that are after AP credit. I can't risk their performance by embedding students that do not have the exact same stakes on the line. And this may mean that you end up doing the entirety of a group project and a group presentation on your own, but that will be a decision made by the lack of enrollment for the exam. And it's nothing against anyone. I understand there are circumstances that are beyond people's control at times, but this is the expectation. AP seminar is not like any other course, because our entire course, instead of being about prepping for the test, we're largely testing the test. And so I'm going to insist, please get with Ms. Cordova, get with Ms. Dye if you need to, get with me, and let's get you all registered by the end of October, if not by the end of September, so that we have 100% of the AP capstone program on our campus testing this year, and we can get every last possible person their credit. I want to add this. I know that one of the big issues that always concerns parents is, well, my student doesn't typically get credit for the AP exam for the course. Why pay for it? Two reasons. First, the AP capstone program has an 85% passing rate. The College Board, unlike every other area, wants to see high levels of success. It's not that they don't want to see success in the others, but there are things in place and all to keep the passing rate actually relatively low. There are things that we fight against that are beyond the control of a teacher to prep you for. This is different. They want success in this program because it's a brand new program. They need more high schools to get on board with it. The colleges have begged for it. And when you consider just the cost of bringing this online alone, if they weren't producing passing students at a high passing rate, nobody would invest in it. This is your best chance to get a passing score. If you've never gotten a passing score before, take the test. If you've gotten passing scores in the past, take the test. If you're taking my course, take the test. It's got that high passing rate. Part 2. I know that this question is going to come up. What do I get credit in college? Really kind of depends. We do have commitments from the College Board that certain colleges have agreed to award credit to the students, as could be elective credit or any number of options. But one of the most outstanding set of stories that I heard from an AP Capstone teacher was about a student that had completed the AP research work in Capstone, went to the college, and then said, I'd really like to see if I can't expand the application of credit for this course. And the advisor said, well, what did you do in this course? They showed them the research projects that they had completed, the work that they had done that has a lot of merit behind it, that not only has the feel of a college course, this is work that graduate students are doing. It's the fun part of being a scholar. And when they looked at this, the young lady was going to major in science. They looked at it and they said, you know what? This project that you did that was focused on chemistry, it's more than sufficient enough, and it shows that you have a high enough level of knowledge about chemistry. We're just going to go ahead and give you credit for your freshman level of chemistry, all of it. This is a flexible piece that will allow students to go to the colleges and be able to get applied credit in areas where it really matters and not just in limited areas. More importantly, students who complete this exam, there's a checkbox on the common application for capstone students that you can state this person's a capstone candidate. You put a check on that box, and selling the student's ability to be considered for entrance into a college of their choice increases exponentially. And this is including universities like Harvard, MIT, Texas A&M, University of Texas, University of Houston, Texas Tech, etc. Rice University. These are the schools that are hard to get into. It's the reason that Capstone is a great program, especially for students that can complete it by the end of their junior year. If not, it's still a fantastic program. It can still help, so we can still check that box. It's just, it can pay off a little bit more for students that finish it earlier than later. Next thing, maturity policy. AP Capstone program is unique in its design. We expose students to a variety of opinions, perspectives, and ideas. The ideas may or may not be controversial, and the materials used to develop or argue these perspectives may be equally controversial. Students are expected to demonstrate a high level of maturity, discussing and analyzing these topics and perspectives. Moreover, parents are expected to understand that this maturity is a requirement for this course and be supportive of it as well. I am happy to discuss what's going on in Capstone with parents at any point in time. I am here to help make it work for everyone. However, it is impossible to write a piece of research like it will be required for both the team project and the individual project without looking at materials that may be controversial. It's just a part of looking at all the perspectives and all the angles of arguments to be able to construct and build your best response and your best contribution. Students that are in this program, again, the work they're doing is akin to the work of a graduate student in college, and we will treat it as such. Materials needed. You will need pens and pencils, paper, and then you will also need a jump or portable hard drive to store your work. I will have accessible laptops in the classroom pretty much on a daily basis for our time together. However, you're going to also need to be able to save and back up your work so you can work on it away from school. We will not have enough time to do everything in class all the time. I have checked with the local branch of the Fort Worth Public Library over off Cromwell, and they do have database systems that are perfectly accessible, and they do have librarians that are eager to work with our students. More details coming in about that later on. Additionally, if a student doesn't own their own laptop, it is encourageable for them to bring it for this particular class to work on the materials. However, again, owning a laptop isn't a requirement. It's just feel free to bring your computer if you want to. We'll still be doing our evaluations underneath the EMS ISD Secondary Handbook. The difference in this one is the fact that, number one, I will not be able to give grades for any of the work that is being submitted to the College Board as part of the AP exam process. I can create assignments that are related to it, group teach opportunities and things of that level, but the work itself that's being created, that's going to be submitted to the College Board, I cannot not only use as a grade in the class, but I cannot offer feedback on any of it. It's akin to if the student was sitting inside of the testing room and said, I have a question about this, can you explain it? I have to explain the fact that, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that, you'll just have to do your best. Same principles here. I'm still going to be teaching, I'm still actively helping the students as best I can, but I can only do it from kind of a distance, and I have to do it using some creative techniques. This is going to be as much of a unique experience for the students as me, because having my hands tied, but at the same time needing to make certain that things go well, it's going to require some strategies. So there'll be grades that'll be earned after January 3rd, but they're going to be certainly more unique, and they probably won't be at the frequency as some other AP courses. They still will occur. I'll still be focused on student mastery and success, but again, it'll be a little bit tricky. I also want to add in this. It's a rule that I'm going to be passing on more readily towards around December, and I'm also going to be explaining to the faculty and staff at Chisholm Trail High School. Students starting in January 3rd, when they begin working on the performance tests, the assignments for the College Board, they are not allowed to get assistance from any person directly connected to Chisholm Trail High School. They can't go to a teacher in another class and go, hey, would you look at this and give me some feedback? No, they won't. They can't. I don't care if they meet the teacher outside of the school grounds at Starbucks and say, hey, could you give me some help with this? The teachers are not allowed to do so. I'm not even allowed to do so, and it's my course. There are research sources that students can make use of. I can suggest some of those possibly in class, but again, it will not be a person representing Chisholm Trail High School, because we're going to maintain the integrity of the exam. As far as class rules, I teach AP. Lots of AP. We stand by the CTHS Rangers Ride Code that was established when the school was officially opened. And the heart of it, the root of it, is about respect. Respect each other, respect time together, and we'll get along perfectly fine. Use of the bathrooms, I'm pretty open with it. I'll have passes that students can make use of to go to the facilities, provided they do not ask to go in the first 10 minutes or last 10 minutes of class. The first 10 minutes, you've got plenty of time to go ahead and go. The last 10 minutes, especially for the capstone program, we're going to be spending time debriefing and getting things wrapped up to be able to move on to the next day. So it's imperative that that be respected. Finally, cell phone usage is okay, but keep it to a minimum, because we really don't have time to waste. We're going to be really focused on our discussions. Attendance, I'm going to ask that students beginning January 3rd until April 30th miss as few days as possible. Please don't miss any more than 3 meetings at all during that window, because we are completing the AP exam, and it's impossible to be able to complete this work without being physically present. Doctor's appointments and other events need to be scheduled at other times, and if you need to do it during other courses, that's between you and that teacher. But for capstone, again, I need people present, in attendance, and working. Additionally, students need to be present on April 30th to submit their portfolio of work to the College Board, because that's how they get graded. When you get to the course, and I'll give you a copy of this, it's going to cover the exact same points that I've already talked about. Just a little bit of information to it. You'll sign off on it and send it back to me. I can't stress, this is probably one of the neatest, most well-thought AP courses ever developed. I am beyond ecstatic about the fact that we're bringing this online. I've been hoping we would for a couple of years. Dr. Karen Ray, who is over the AP program the last couple of years, managed to do a lot of good legwork on getting this thing going and up and running. I'm eternally grateful for her and to Ms. Dye and the rest of the administrative staff of CTHS for choosing me to teach this, and I'm beyond grateful that all of you have decided to join me in this journey. This will be the inaugural cohort, but it is my dream, it is my goal to blow this program sky high over this next year. I want to see multiple seminar courses along with our first group of research students next year. And that's only going to happen with your assistance and with your participation. I ask that you stay in constant contact with me. Most people that signed up for this know who Dr. Sutton is. In room 401, you can find a video on my YouTube channel that covers kind of who I am. My email address is dsutton@ems-isd.net. My Twitter handle is @gooddrsir. I highly encourage you, follow me on Twitter. It's one of the easiest ways to get feedback from me, as well as email. I don't stalk students. I will not, even if I know your Twitter handle because I've seen you retweeted from somebody else, I will not go follow you unless you follow me. But please consider doing so. And parents, I do know that there's always concern about social media and teachers, and I share that. I'm a parent of a student that's in middle school, and my daughter's in elementary. When I set up my Twitter account, it was before my children were with us. I did it from the mindset, though, of a parent. My Twitter directly connects to Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD email address that's listed here. So if at any point district needs access to it, they can look at it. I do not contact students outside normal hours, and I'm not there just to sit there and, have a social presence. It's meant to be a useful tool to my students. So this is the beginning info. Students, if you're wanting to know what to do to get prepped for the course, read. Read as many news articles as you can. Look at all the different perspectives that exist out in the world about all the different global issues. We're going to start by looking at something as innocuous as Coca-Cola wars and some standardized testing, moving into music, education, to other issues. And right now, while there are some planned discussions, they may change because we're going to make this entire course alive, and we're going to look at the big debates, the big questions that are being asked by society. We're going to see if we can't determine our own unique answers to solve these problems. I look forward to working with every last one of you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Sorry if this took 22 minutes, but I'm looking forward to this. Until later.